welcome to Meanwhile in the Falklands. Do you know what? It doesn't seem like 5 minutes before we put out 108 and already we're on 109. But it's all ladies in the office today.
We're back! Woo! Have you missed us? I think probably. I must be, because I'm the most chattiest one.
Yeah, we have missed you very much. Very much. It's Friday down here in the Falkland Islands, Friday the 2nd of October 2020. The rest of the world are right in the middle of a COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
We're not really down here.
We're all right, actually. It hasn't been too bad. But, well, we haven't introduced Katharyn yet.
Oh, yeah. So there's a third. Come
Wait,
on, Katharyn. Get in. This is Katharyn.
Hi, I'm Katharyn.
She's our lovely new FITV member. But I was going to say, we've experienced it kind of, because we've just come out of quarantine.
Yeah, quarantine was an experience.
Yeah.
Not one I'm like rushing to repeat again, but
Especially, it must be hard because obviously you've just started, and to start a new job in the other side of the world and then go straight into quarantine.
yeah,
How was it?
It was a bit mad. I was in the Malvina, so literally just a hotel room, and then I had a little bit of outdoor space. So if anybody walked past Malvina in the last 2 weeks and saw someone walking in circles, that was me. I'm the crazy lady that walked in circles.
We saw you. We waved at you because we were filming at Gilbert House across the road, and we saw you. So we were waving, and I took a photograph. If I can find that photograph, I'll put it on the YouTube
Peeping Tom.
version.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paps,
Right,
like
rang up and
paparazzi.
said we can see you.
I was looking around thinking, where is she?
Yep. So Katharyn, you quarantined in the Malvina House Hotel. So you're desperate for, I would imagine, beans on toast or something quite simple. What were the food?
Yeah.
What food like?
The food was, it was good, but it was all things like steak and a burger and then all these big meals. And I don't eat big meals like all the time. I snack quite a lot. So they were sort of bringing all this food, and I was like, I just want some Weetos, please.
I love that. This is a shameless plug for the Malvina.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta get that in there.
Hannah, how did you get on?
I was all right. For me, it was difficult. I found the social side, not being able to actually see people. I had people visit and sit socially distanced on the balcony.
Yep.
But it was difficult not being able to go out. I did a lot of baking. God, I went mad. I went absolutely mad. Made croissants from your patisserie book, which was very good. And then I got into my freezer and thought, right, I'm just going to cook everything that has been sitting in the freezer for months and make meals. So I ended up meal planning and things and Tupperwaring and all sorts. So it wasn't too bad. But I found the first week was the most difficult because the weather wasn't very good. So you couldn't really sit outside. Whereas we had a really nice weekend just gone, weather-wise. So I was kind of tanning and all sorts, reading my book.
T-shirts and shorts.
Yeah.
Of course. And so last night we nearly lost you, didn't we?
Yeah, so Ollie decided we were going to go on a trip to Cape Pembroke, see the sights, and we drove out there, and it was so windy last night. It was ridiculous. We got out of the car, and the doors of the car nearly blew off the hinges. It was ridiculous. Took a few steps towards the lighthouse, and Ollie's like, yeah, it's only a few more metres before we get there. And I was literally sideways, like, Ollie, I cannot walk any further.
Don't worry, you'll get used to that wind. Give it a couple of weeks and you'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, so Ollie, I think it's because I've come into the house and I've reduced all that internet usage because now I've got to split the internet differently. So he's trying to get rid of me, throw me out into the ocean. He's like, no, I want my internet back.
So the listener, if you're unaware of what's going on here, so the internet down in the Falklands is very expensive and restricted. So you only have a certain amount of megabytes or gigabytes per month, and the FITV house has a certain number of gigabytes coming into the house, and then it's split between the three of you, isn't it? So it has been split between the two of them. Mind you, they're not paying so much on it now.
Well,
so
yeah, so I mean, they've got me
swings
to
and
thank for
roundabouts.
that, but
Swings and roundabouts, yeah.
I remember back in the day when I arrived, there was no internet in the FITV house.
Oh, really?
Remember that? Yeah.
Those
And I
days.
remember having to be like, Steve, please, sir, please give us some internet. And we had 3 gigabytes each.
Yeah.
oh wow.
But then we used to come in here quite a lot and do.
I was going to say,
Late night calls
yeah,
and
you used
all
to
sorts
see a lot
of
of
Sit in
people.
the office.
Yeah.
That's why we've got these sofas in here, so you could just sit
Oh,
down
nice,
and
yeah.
James used to spend quite a long time in the
Yeah.
evenings sitting on these sofas, falling
Just
asleep.
Bring a
and-
little duvet and a
Yeah.
pillow. And
It's
sleep
funny
with.
though, because when you don't have internet, actually it makes you do more things, I find. It makes you
Yeah.
more sociable and actually go out and about and see people
More
instead
creative.
of just. Yeah, more creative and stuff. So
Well, yeah,
it's not
weird
always a
'cause
bad thing.
At the Malvina, I was limited by time, so I was really stingy like the first few days with how much time I was using. So by like the last day, I had like 24 hours left of internet. I was like, oh my god, I can do so much stuff. But it's like surprising because I thought I was going to be sat on my phone all day long in quarantine, and I was actually on it for like a couple of hours a day. Like my battery life was great. I didn't have to charge my phone as much as I was, but
I was going to say, you've got another thing. How I know internet's one thing you've got to get used to here, but the other dreaded thing. How are you getting on with the UHT milk?
Oh, I mean, so far it's not been too bad. I've not just drank it by itself yet. I smell it. I was like, no, I'm not drinking this. But it's all right in tea, and on my cereal it was fine.
You get used to it. You get used to it, but it's not. You can get raw milk delivered from a local farm, and they deliver it in like whiskey bottles or vodka bottles or something like that. So you can get, but it's raw milk, and you have to obviously take the risks of drinking raw milk. Although that's quite a fashion thing, isn't it, in the UK now? Is that a trendy thing to do?
I've never heard of raw milk.
No, I've not heard of raw milk.
So unpasteurised, straight from the cow.
Oh, I thought the trendy thing was all the different like oat milks and
soy
milks.
Yeah, I went to let's just say I went to a film festival a couple of years ago. I won't say which one it was, and it was incredibly trendy. And there was this coffee that they were allowing you to try. And when I came along to the thing, I said, "Oh yes, can I try it?" And he said yes. And then I looked and I said, "Have you not got any cow's milk?" And he gave me this long lecture on how it was unsustainable, and promised me I would not tell the difference between what he was actually putting in my coffee. And I went, "Listen, mate, I can tell if you've boiled the kettle twice. So, it's not going to work with me."
Did you know though, actually, that soy milk and stuff isn't that sustainable? So. If any listener, UK listeners may have seen it, I don't know if you guys have seen it, David Attenborough, Extinction. BBC did a special one-off documentary. It was an hour long, and it was all about the world, the planet, how we treat things and what we're doing wrong, and stuff like also brought in COVID and things like that, spoke about that. But they were talking about the 5 most unsustainable imports to the UK, and soy milk, soy, the plant, was tip top on the list, because obviously all the chicken and livestock and stuff eat all the food is made from it and stuff like that. So so it goes to show, when we get all these people saying, "Oh, soy milk and I'm being sustainable," actually it isn't.
Listen, listener. I think the best way to tackle this, right, is individuals making the difference at home. So using reusable bags, using reusable containers. Instead of going and buying a bottle of water. I mean, if it's an emergency, you buy a bottle of water, but you have a container with you, so you don't buy it. Surely, I mean, am I being stupid?
Yeah, no, I'm going to say, I always, ever since I was a kid, we always walk around the house with a bottle of water.
Yeah.
Like a refillable one, and that's it.
Yeah.
But then I feel kind of weird if I go out and I've forgotten it. Then I'm like,
I cannot go
oh my god, I haven't got any water. Yeah. But
and there's you drinking out of a
oh, here we go. Don't even. I know the amount of.
It's cheaper if you use your own reusable cup. It's only £1.95.
Do you know what the really sad thing is? I've actually got like 4 reusable cups at home as well. Mum's probably listening.
Sorry, we're
Mum
just about
sent
to
me
be
a couple.
disturbed by Steve. We're in the middle of a podcast here.
Hello, everybody. Haven't sneezed today yet.
No. If you last week, if you listen to about, I think it's 20 minutes and 20 seconds in, Steve does a massive sneeze from down the corridor, and you can hear it in here.
I was going to say, have you heard him yet since you've arrived?
No, I've not actually.
Listen out.
No. Oh, okay.
You'll know it's like an earthquake.
Oh, jeez.
He's writing a note now.
Oh, maybe it's a love letter.
No.
My dearest wife, I'm so sorry that I haven't worn your handmade jumper.
This is so funny.
Should we tell the listener the story of the jumper?
I think the listener knows that story. I think I remember saying it in a previous podcast, but just in case. I knitted a jumper for Steve with love. It was one of the first jumpers I'd done, and I hadn't done a tension square. And I think perhaps I'm a little bit loose. So it was quite big. And it was a lot bigger than the pattern said it was going to be.
Sorry, that sounded a little bit lewd.
And it was a lot bigger than the pattern said it was going to be. And as a consequence, he looked like a hobo. He did look like
But you were allowing for any sort of size
but
fluctuation.
it was made with love. It was every single stitch
It was a very nice jumper, actually. I really liked the colour.
It's a nice colour. That's
Yeah.
what it says easy knit, but actually it wasn't as easy.
Yeah.
And I did write on the pattern, because once I've made something, I tend to write notes on it as to what I came across. And this one I wrote, it is not easy, because you have to pick up stitches for the welt and anyway. Yes. So every stitch made with love, and it was far too big, so he didn't wear it. And as a consequence, it sort of got dropped in the second-hand bin I was going to take to the charity shop. Tom saw it and said, "Can I have it?" He's like a beanpole.
Yeah, and it was just huge. It
and
looked
he
like
loved
a poncho or something on him, but he loved it.
He said, "I love these things," so he had it. Then I made another one for Steve. His favourite colour being green. The only green.
The choice of green.
Yes, the only green that they had was like this vomit-coloured green.
Oh,
but you know,
no.
hello, made with love.
Yeah, it's the effort that counts,
So
isn't it?
he said the other day, because I just dyed a load of wool top to spin, and he said, "Oh, could you make me a jumper?" And I went, "You're not having
yeah,
anything ever again."
Cheeky.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 jumpers made and rejected by
Yeah,
him.
that's a
No.
bit rude,
Not
isn't
on
it?
that. Not on that. Anyway, I'm just knitting a jumper for my niece. But it's one of those patterns, you know, where it says this size is 1 to 2 years old and this size is 3 to 4 years old. So I said to my niece, what size do you want for her daughter? And she said, she's 2, so maybe the 3 to 4 size. It's huge. I mean, she's seriously going to grow into it when she's about 14.
That's good, though. Yeah, really.
Yeah, it's huge. But if you're down in the Falkland Islands, go to Falklands Farmers.
We need to take you in there,
Oh,
actually.
yeah, I
it's
really
a
wanna
very,
go.
very good shop.
They've got some really nice Sirdar cotton. Yeah, really nice. And for whatever reason, it's a lot cheaper to buy it down here than it is in the UK.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I nearly brought, when I first came down, I nearly brought a load of wool with me, but I didn't in the end.
Yeah.
And actually, I was
You make
surprised
sure you call it
at how
yarn.
cheap. Yarn.
Yarn, Miss
Yarn.
Newton, yarn.
Yarn.
Unless it's 100% wool, then call it wool.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the stuff I knit with is not 100%
Oh,
wool.
in the guild, the Spinners and Weavers Guild, because obviously it's pure wool that they spin. So if you say something like, "Oh, I've got some wool," and is it wool though, or is it got acrylic in it? You know, was it cotton? So yeah, you get told off for that. It's the same with calling the Lady Elizabeth Lady Liz.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be stabbed in a dark alley. Yeah.
I will stay away from the dark alleys.
The old Lady Liz.
Yeah.
What about Lizzie? How's that?
Oh, no.
Is that
you
just
can't do
stoking
that.
the fire?
No,
Oh,
you
no.
can't do that. Anyway, if you're listening to this and you're out walking your dog, I think that's you, Scott. Hello. And I think we've got Ben. I think Ben listens to us. I hope you're still listening to us, Ben. I met him at a FIGO reception. He actually came down here, I think, a few years back. Who else do we say hello to? I can't remember who else. Emily. Emily sometimes listens to us.
My mum.
Your mum. Hello, Mum.
Oh, I have to say hello to my parents now.
Yeah.
They'll be listening.
Take the opportunity.
We're all waving at the recorder, aren't we?
For the benefit of the tape, we're all waving. Yes, this is where you can plug lots of things,
Oh, okay.
because it's no holds barred.
Yes. And we always try to get free iPhones from Apple.
Yes,
so Apple,
indeed.
if you're listening.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
So Apple, listen. Poor old Ollie is on an Android phone. Mind you, he did manage to take quite.
Huawei.
Yeah, I know, but he managed. Did you see that picture he took the other week?
Yeah, no, I
so
did. It looked good.
Absolutely
He's taken
beautiful. But how
amazing.
much better would that have been if he'd had an iPhone?
What I don't
Yeah.
get though is he's got a MacBook.
Oh,
but,
really?
But he's
Yeah,
using
you're either all Apple
using
or
an
you're not,
Android.
yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
And
Apple.
it's like, come on.
Send him an iPhone. Send Ollie an iPhone. And if you can, some darts, because he bought a dartboard a few weeks ago and he's still got no darts for it. So, send him some darts as well. Darts and an iPhone, that's what we want for him. So I think that sort of brings us to the end of this podcast for this week. But we're looking forward to next week. We've got Peak Cutting Monday. So you've been here 5 minutes and we've got a day off.
Oh, great.
It's the only bank holiday in the Falkland Islands that FITV can legitimately take off, because all the other bank holidays have got a parade attached to them.
Oh, yeah.
And also, all the government departments are shut on a Monday, so you can't book
can't
any
do
interviews
anything,
or anything
nice.
unless you've actually got something to edit.
Yeah. So we're taking some new sofa shots next week as well.
Yes, we are.
So
Some
posh
new
frocks on Tuesday then.
sexy sofa
Yeah.
shots.
nice.
But we're going to have a full sofa. How are we
Yes.
all going to fit in? I don't know. 5 of us.
No, that's all right.
We'll get Tom to get a little haircut,
Yeah.
especially.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
You can sort that out. Wednesday afternoon is a bit jam-packed. We've got the Q&A session, the COVID update on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. And then also, Shaw and the regulator have got a presentation at the Chamber of Commerce. So CHOC is the shorthand for Chamber of Commerce in the FITV offices. They prefer a different shorthand for Chamber of Commerce. They leave out the H.
Oh.
I wasn't going to say it.
Sorry, I was like,
I wasn't going to say it. No,
we can beat that
call
out
it
with
CHOC. Yeah, we call it CHOC. And the Royal British Legion quiz. Find a Royal British Legion member so you can come along to the quiz. So World Mental Health Day on Saturday. I haven't heard. I don't think they're doing anything this week. I think Ollie rang them up earlier this week.
because they normally do a breakfast.
They
and
normally
stuff,
do a
which
big
is very good.
breakfast.
Big breakfast, and they do like yoga and
Oh.
exercising and line dancing as
Oh,
well.
nice.
It's, all these
Mind you,
different things.
it's been
you
a
can
funny
do.
old year, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's been a funny old year, and I'm not sure they've got a full complement of staff down there at the moment. So we'll give them a break. Anyway, we've had Ruth Taylor each week doing she's composed these poems. What's the type of poem where the first letter of each word then makes a new word?
Oh, is it an acrostic? Is
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Where it goes down. And
You're the
then
one
across.
that's more recently been at school than us two.
I
you
think
see.
it might have been an acrostic.
Okay, one of
Yeah.
those, and that's what she's done with Take Care, and she's done all that. It's probably not as obvious in the pieces we've been putting out.
What do I remember? Rhyming stanzas. An iambic pentameter.
Oh,
There
yeah.
we go. Don't know what any of that is, but
We did a piece on that years ago. We had a lady here called Milda, and we had a chalkboard in here, and she would do these little animations on the chalkboard just with a camera. You have a look, they're called the weekly shots. Have a look on our NAS drive. And she did one on Shakespeare. And they go through iambic pentameter on that one.
yeah. And what was the other thing? What was the other haikus? They're the funny little poems,
yeah,
aren't they?
yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah.
It's got
nice.
to have no verbs.
And a certain amount of syllables.
I
Certain
think
amount of
it's like
syllables.
5, 7, 5
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
like that.
No
It's-
verbs and a reference to a season to make a proper haiku, apparently.
My poetry skills are not very good, I can
Yeah.
tell you that much.
Anyway, let's just bring it to a close now then. So thank you very much for listening along wherever you may be. Please, if there's any kind of voting for any kind of podcasts, please vote for us, because we just sit here with a little
Three
recorder.
whispering women, yeah.
That could be a cast-off photo.
Here we go,
podcast.
yeah.
Three whispering women. That's
And Paula will eventually bring her ukulele in to do the jingle.
one day.
Oh, that's exciting.
One day. Oh,
We keep
hey.
promising the listeners this.
One
but-
day.
I need to be the ukulele
One
skills.
day.
Yeah.
Anyway, subscribe online to us, fitv.co.fk. Engage with us on social media. That would be
Yes.
grand. And we'll see you next week.